David and his friend I Don't Want To, a story about how you can miss out on fun if you are stubborn. Once upon a time, in a quiet little town, there was a boy named David. David was 5 years old and very playful, but he also had a rather stubborn habit. He often said, "I don't want to," whenever someone asked him to do something. "David, let's eat your vegetables," said his mum. "I don't want to," replied David. "David, let's get dressed for kindergarten," said his dad. "I don't want to," David would respond with a grumpy face, and so "I don't want to" became David's best friend. Whenever someone asked him to do something, "I don't want to" was always there to answer for him. One day David was in his room playing with toy cars. Suddenly he heard a strange noise coming from under the bed. He bent down and, lo and behold, a small, fluffy and very stubborn character emerged from under the bed. "Who are you?" David asked, surprised. I don't want to, and I'm here to help you not do anything you don't want to," said the little one with a silly bow. "Wow, how cool!" David laughed. "From now on we can say 'I don't want to' together, and no one will be able to make us do anything." And so David and "I don't want to" became inseparable. At breakfast, when his mom told him to eat his oatmeal, "I don't want to" would jump in and say, "We don't want." When his dad told him to brush his teeth, "I don't want to" would say again, "We don't want to." David laughed every time, thinking how great it was to have a friend who always took his side. One morning, David and "I don't want to" decided not to do anything their parents asked. His mum woke David and told him he needed to get dressed because they were going to kindergarten, where there was a special day with games and sweets. "David, it's time to get dressed," his mom called. "I don't want to," jumped out of bed, waving its fluffy arms and shouting. "We don't want to get dressed," David repeated after him, laughing. "No, we don't want to get dressed." His mom sighed and tried to convince him, but "I don't want to" was very determined. In the end, his mom left the room, letting David do as he wished. In the afternoon, his dad suggested going to the park to play with the ball. "David, let's go outside and play with the ball," his dad said cheerfully. But "I don't want to" was faster and said, "We don't want to go to the park." And so David stayed home all day, doing nothing. At first it seemed amusing. He could stay in pajamas all day, eat whatever he wanted, and do nothing. But after a while, David began to get bored. His room was getting messier, and he felt more tired and grumpy. The next day, "I don't want to" woke up just as energetic and determined to do nothing. But David began to feel differently. He thought about his friends at kindergarten who were playing together, the tasty foods he had refused, and the park walks with his dad. When his mum brought breakfast, "I don't want" was ready to say "we don't want" again, but David stopped him. "You know what I don't want to? Today I want to eat breakfast, I want to go to kindergarten, and I want to play with my friends. I'm tired of doing nothing." "I don't want to" looked at him in surprise. But, we're friends. What about "we don't want"? David smiled and said, "You can still be my friend, but from now on I want to do things that make me happy. So today, I want to have fun and do all the things I've been refusing to do." "I don't want to" was a little sad, but understood that David was right. David felt much better when he said "I want" and did nice things. That day, David dressed himself, ate all his breakfast, and went to kindergarten with a big smile on his face. At kindergarten, he played with all his friends, enjoyed the sweets, and when he got home, he went to the park and played with his dad and the ball. "I don't want to" became smaller and smaller until it was just a memory of the days when David didn't want to do anything. Now, David discovered how wonderful it was to say "I want" and enjoy everything a new day had to offer. At bedtime, David thought about the day he had and smiled. It's much nicer to say "I want" than "I don't want to," he said to himself before falling asleep. And from then on, David learned that it's better to try new things, be open and enjoy all the adventures he could have, joyfully saying, "I want," every day,